the force of Captain Lou Albano donning the tights, and accompanied by the tag team champions, managed by Mr. Albano as well, the Samoans Afa and Sika. In addition to the six-man tag team match, we'll have a whole lot of wrestling action on the card as well, including the main event. As ladies and gentlemen, in Baltimore, where championships have been known to change hands, many fans feel this is the occasion that Bob Backlund will perhaps lose the World Wrestling Federation title to one most determined Larry Zbyszko. At this moment, however, let's again direct our attention to the six-man tag team match, and coming into view to my right, Captain Lou Albano, who obviously, well, it's a good thing, I guess, for you, Mr. Albano. You're a couple of weeks away from the match, because I'm sure you would want to do a bit more training.
Well, I don't know. You merely said that as a wise guy, observing that I've trimmed down to 260 pounds. Trimmed down. I was 300 pounds, and I've been training daily. And, you know, it's not always the appearance that counts. It's basically the wrestling knowledge and the combined effort. And I believe you'll agree, I know you'll agree, I shouldn't say believe, that the Samoans and myself have worked together as a team. I groomed this team. I know their every move. We know each other's weaknesses and our strong points. And I believe we have a decisive advantage in that way. Now, we're wrestling against Patterson Putski, who right there alone, they're not dealing with a full deck. Putski, as we all know, has got a one-cell brain. He cannot function properly, and so does Patterson. And then they have this big freak of nature, Andre, at their side, who can't even speak English, so the communication is unbelievable. There's no way that a Putski, Patterson, and Andre effort can have the continuity, can have the wrestling knowledge, can do anything together, and you do need teamwork to win a six-man tag.
That is the key. I
Definitely
must agree with you, Mr.
In
Albano.
fact, perhaps I won't even have to do hardly anything in that ring. I'll basically be in the corner as the guiding light, instructing, guiding, pointing out weaknesses. This is enough. This is enough. It's all the captain, just to be there. Just my presence is enough. Just be there, baby.
Thank you very much, Lou Albano, predicting victory for his team himself, along with the Samoans, meeting Ivan Putski, Pat Patterson, and Andre the Giant. Our guest now, Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion. And Bob Backlund, many fans feel you have your work cut out for you, and the personage, of course, of Larry Zbyszko.
Well, I know I'm going to have my hands full. You know, Larry Zbyszko at one time was a man that I had a lot of respect for. He was a man that had more, his credentials were more like mine than anybody else in professional wrestling. He started wrestling, he was 9, 10 years old, and he wrestled all the way through high school, winning state tournaments, wrestled in college at Penn State, and did very well there in national tournaments, and his professional career was as fine as anybody's in professional wrestling. And the respect that I had for him was all gone that day he used that chair on his best friend, a man that put time in, hours and hours. The man traveled for days, and he'd come home and work out with Larry Zbyszko to train him to get into professional wrestling. And Larry Zbyszko did what he did to him on television in front of millions of people, hit him over the head with a chair. Now, I'm no personal friend of Larry Zbyszko's, and I'd like to know, if he did that to his best friend, a man that helped him probably more than anybody else in the world, what would he do to a man that's not his friend to get the world championship? Vince, why don't you ask him that for me when you talk to him?
I will definitely do that, and we thank you very much for your time. Bob Backlund, the World Wrestling Federation champion, bringing up a very interesting point. So with that in mind, and coming into view in just a moment down the aisle now, Larry Zbyszko, the #1 contender, getting his shining moment of glory. A question a moment ago Bob Backlund asked is, well, in fact, what depths will you stoop to gain the World Wrestling Federation title?
Well, I'm sure that Bob would really like to know. And I hope you're listening, Bob, because I'm going to tell you what depths I'm going to go to. Because I'm going to tell you something. I don't like what you stand for. I don't like that belt around your waist. And I'm going to say it straight out. I'm going to do anything I have to, Bob, to take that belt. And you remember that. Anything goes, Bob.